we're going to turn these shots into these shots. I've been playing Call of Duty for over 13 years, so I have some good tips and tricks on how to help you guys improve your aim on controller and keyboard and mouse. I have most of my time spent on keyboard and mouse, but I have played a lot on controller as well. Older games and some of the newer games, I just switched back to controller on Modern Warfare 3 as well. First off, one of the biggest things that you guys need to learn is how to use rotational aim assist. Aim assist is really overpowered in these games, but not knowing how to use rotational aim assist will leave you lacking in the game. Moving your left stick left and right will activate rotational aim assist, which in turn, you'll see on screen right now, will basically allow you to stay sticky to whatever enemy your crosshair is on. And that's a big advantage when you're in a gunfight, because someone who is not using this has to move their right joystick right and left like this, while you can just do this and get the same outcome without having to move this. And you can move the right stick now to aim even better. So basically this is using both your sticks to aim instead of just using one stick to aim. And what this helps you do is this helps you use your right stick for recoil control. So instead of sitting here trying to go left and right like this and pull down going on a diagonal, you can move left and right with this stick, and you can just pull this one straight down and have good recoil control. You're going to want to go in private matches and go and see what your recoil patterns look like for like your MCW or your Rival 9, depending on what you play. If you play a bunch of different game modes like in just public matches, it might not be that big of a deal, but if you play private matches a lot or you want to play ranked play, you're going to want to know what the MCW and the Rival 9's recoil patterns look like, because those are the guns you will be using in ranked play. Some of the different attachments you run will affect the recoil pattern, so if you do change it, make sure you go and see what it looks like. Aim assist settings, I run dynamic and Black Ops. This is what I was told was the best options for this game and some of the previous games. However, when it comes to aim assist settings, all of them work. There's just the ones that work best for you. I would mess with them. I think the precision, there's a few different ones that look very weird. I don't know if I'd touch them. I just run dynamic and Black Ops because that's what I was told. I think standard and maybe Black Ops also work very well. There's different options you can run. I think another option for aim assist was dynamic and standard or linear and standard. Those are the other two like real options that were available. So I think dynamic and Black Ops was the best one. Otherwise, dynamic and standard were the best options, but a lot of the pros do run as well. And some other things when you're talking about your controller and the setup and what you should be using for what, pre-firing at long ranges helps you out a lot better, because you're just going to be moving the stick hopefully left and right, trying to narrow in your aim and let your rotational aim assist hit. You're going to be pulling down with this one, and you're going to be pulling down with the right stick, while when you're up close, you want to be hip firing before you ADS. So when you turn a corner, and you guys know, if you know guys in this corner here, you can slide around that corner, or you can just run around the corner, and you can be hip firing before you ADS. This allows you to get 1 or 2 shots off, and if you're using Rival 9, 2 shots out of 6 already on target. That guy cannot kill you if he reacts right away, and that's an easy kill for you. Meanwhile, when using an MCW, even at close range, you can do the hip fire method, but at long range, you want to be pre-firing corners. So if you know a guy could be peeking the corner, you might want to be tap firing. If you hit 1 or 2 shots, you're already halfway there almost to kill the player, and that's a big advantage in a multiplayer game. Moving over to your dead zones, now that we know kind of how aim assist works and how we want to maximize it, we know that this stick right here is pretty important when it comes to rotational aim assist. Helping us get this activated faster is a really big thing. So having your left stick min low allows you to activate your rotational aim assist right away, and if you have a little bit of stick drift, it might activate it for you automatically without you even moving it. And that's a weird exploit that the game does allow you to do. Is it fair? It's probably not fair, but it's in the game, and it's what the game allows you to do. But I don't really have stick drift. I have maybe like a 1 or 2, so I put my dead zone at 1 for my left stick. And then for your left stick max, this allows you to get to your fastest speed faster. So I have this set at 65, and this allows me to only push 65% of the way, and I'll start running at full speed. This is really good because you don't want to be slow at getting to your max speed. So your right stick min helps with your aim response. So that's your right stick here, and so setting that to lower will allow the stick to be more responsive. But if you have stick drift or you don't want it to be instantly responsive, you're going to want to find a nice sweet spot here. You might not want to put it at 0, but you might want to put it at like 5 or 6 depending on who you are. If you like it being super responsive, you can maybe go to like a 1 or 2, but but that's also, if you have to be a really good aimer to do that, and you have to really be in control of your right stick if you're doing that. So I would not advise doing that. Cellium runs at 7, so that's a good thing to remember, that the best aimers in the world aren't running this one low as well. So just an FYI there. For your right stick max, you can actually increase your margin of error by having it all the way from wherever you started your min to 99, because then you will be able to aim in all this area. This basically will allow you to have more area, and it will increase your margin of error, and anything that increases your margin of error while aiming is massive. So for your left trigger and your right trigger, I just put this at 5. Basically, I already shoot this off a little too often sometimes, but your left trigger as well, you don't always want to, sometimes you're resting your finger on it and you don't want it to go off, that's kind of why I put it at 5. That seems like a good sweet spot for me, but you're going to want to find the sweet spot for you. I just want to let you know why I put it to where I put it. And our major issue is you need to get in control with your controller. You need to learn how to control it. No more being Mr. No Thumbs. Oh my God, Johnny, what the hell are you doing? Just because most people run around with their thumbs are just doing like this, and they don't really know what's going on. They have no control over it. When you're trying to clutch a 1v3 and search and destroy, and all your friends are watching, being in control of your controller means a lot of things. But most importantly, is a continuous action you're performing while playing. From the start of a round to the end of the round, you are in control where your crosshair is, and that starts with right here. You can work on your aim without even aiming at an enemy in front of you. When you're running, you should be controlling your crosshair and place it in a position that you believe the enemy will be coming from. And having it placed on that corner is actively working on your aim. Keeping it in that corner while you are moving is actively working on your aim. Place down the head glitch of the corner and never let your crosshair go floating across the ground or the sky. This is the #1 issue I see with players who struggle with good aim, and this is why I don't think having good aim is that big of a skill. It's just something that you have to be smart with, and once you are able to fully control where your crosshair is, it's just something that you have to remember. It's a skill, but it's not necessarily a flashy, crazy skill that is so hard to do. It's really easy once you learn the basic fundamentals of aiming. Half the battle is being able to keep some control of your joysticks. If you actively work on this every time you spawn in, and make sure your crosshair is in the best possible spot as you run through hallways, slide downstairs, etc. Actively be readjusting your crosshair, and you'll master this one in no time. Another major thing is centering. This is the most obvious one of them all, but is the hardest to perfect. Why do players fail with good centering? They can't control where their crosshair is necessarily. It's really hard, so this is why you need to be in control of your crosshair. This is why actively working on being in control of the joysticks is so key. If you find that you cannot place your crosshair in the correct spot quickly, then you really need to revisit the last step. Centering is making sure your crosshair is about chest level with where you believe the enemy will be coming from, and this can be used for going downstairs, holding a head glitch, or even sliding around corners. Good centering will help you out a lot and allow you to receive many quick and easy kills, but what if the enemy comes from behind you? Then it doesn't matter how good your centering is, because yes, learning spawns and having good awareness does correlate back to having good aim, because in the end, having good aim means you want to get more kills. So this is something that's going to allow you to get more kills actually. You need to learn the maps, and most importantly, you need to learn the spawn system. The basic principle in spawns is they spawn where you're not. Now this is very obvious, but most of the time in objective-based game modes, when your team has the objective, there is a certain position the enemy will spawn as long as your team has control of the area, and there's a certain position that you will spawn. This does require looking at the minimap and understanding where your teammates are and how that influences the spawn. Have you ever heard somebody yell "don't push" because you'll fill up the spawns? Well, they are definitely right. If you have players in a spawn trap on, let's say, high rise, domination, you can usually get away with one player up in the other team's building, but once the second dude is up there, the odds of the enemy spawning out in a random spot behind you is super high. This is knowledge you need to actively be looking for, but what better way to learn the spawns than when you spawn up? Where were you killed from? Where is your team at? There is so much information at your fingertips that you can gather and use for the rest of your life, that round, every game you play. If you made it this far, so be sure to use the information and the resources around you. This stuff is just everywhere, and you can always just play a game and you can be learning something about the map. Some good ways to warm up your aim before you hop into, let's say, a private match or ranked play is to hop into private match, and you can actually add bots to the lobby. You go up to where your player is and you can click square, I believe, and you can add as many bots as you like to, put them on recruit, and then you can run around and you can shoot them. Set it to like 100 points for in like a free-for-all, and just go around and get 100 kills, maybe do 200 or 300. Warm up your aim, get it really going, and make sure you disable aim assist, because disabling aim assist will allow you to fully aim on the target and you will not be relying on aim assist. So once you have aim assist again, it will seem super easy. Then I would run a few shipment games, start working on your flashy snaps, and really start getting mixy with it, and that will allow you to really warm up and get your movement going, and then pair your movement with your aim. And if you made it this far, this final tip is the biggest one, and sometimes it's a very hard one to hear, but just because you have learned the spawns and you've learned how to shoot incredibly straight, That does not mean you will be good at the game. You need to learn how to move perfectly. And what I mean by that is not only flashy movement, but good positioning with good movement. Now you don't have to watch this video, but it might have all the secrets that you are looking for.